The first segment that you're going to see is individual station work. And we're going to be working on all facets that incorporate the mechanics of fielding and throwing, both in the infield and the outfield. What I've done is I've laid out some station work drills, not in any necessary order, so as a coach, you can go ahead and pick a couple drills to work with the infield on any given day and a couple drills to work with the outfield on any given day. As a coach, remember that you have to figure out where you're going to put your staff to make sure that the quality of the drill is maintained. But more importantly, you have to have an atmosphere in your practices that your players respect what they're doing and there's no goofing off and there's no distractions when everybody is executing the drill. And remember, it's a two and a half hour game. It's an hour and a half, 2.5 hour practice. We're asking them to be prepared, focus, and attempt the execution on each and every skill that's asked of them. Let's go ahead and take a look at individual station work in the infield and individual station work in the outfield. The backhand drill for the infielders is a drill where the player is stationary and they're already in their backhand position. We want to emphasize bending the knees and making sure that the hip area is bent where the head is over their glove. They're working on a soft glove when they receive it. They absorb the ball in their glove. Many times you'll see the players don't bend their knees and they have a tendency to have their back end up in the air. So this drill really enforces that. At the other infield station, it's working forehands and they don't have their gloves on yet. They're using paddles, which forces them to utilize both hands and at the same time have soft hands. And by soft hands, we simply mean that their hands give with the ball as it comes into the receiving area. They also set up their footwork so their feet are in line with their target. And they work on fingering the ball. Even though it's a tennis ball, we use a tennis ball because it's a smaller target. You go through a designated amount and then rotate partners. This infield drill works the slow roller and the infielder working on scooping the ball up barehanded, ideally scooping it up on their bare hand side. Most importantly, they never stop running. They actually run right through that slow roller. You'll notice when they release it, they have a stiff wrist and they don't put their hand above their shoulder when they release. If you do that, then you have balls that go out of the area where you want to have it be received. This way it's being received right in a good area to make a catch and a tag. This simulates possibly the suicide squeeze or even middle infield that has to shuffle a toss over to second base for the start of a double play. This station over here is working the forehand ground ball with the glove, utilizing proper footwork, glove foot forward, receiving the ball out in front with two hands, head down, turning, setting up the feet in line with the target with proper mechanics in this drill. This infield drill is called load and go, and what it does is it enforces transferring the weight back on the back foot when you get ready to throw. It allows you to make sure that you're balanced when you do transfer that weight. You'll notice players catch the ball with two hands, put the weight on the back foot, and set up to throw. You can also add a variation to the drill if you want, and they can actually throw. This station work right now is without a throw. In the other station in the infield, we put everything together and we do combination fungos for the players. You can do this where they do one at a time, or they can do a handful at a time. And we try to incorporate both the backhand and the forehand in this fungo drill. During this outfield drill, the outfielder is working on reading the ball off the bat, cutting off the angle, and using their backhand to field the ball. As coaches, we don't work enough on the backhand, and many times we fall short defensively in the outfield position. You'll notice that they're not throwing to save their arms. We're purely working on the angle, cutting off the ball, and utilizing the backhand side. This outfield drill is working the forehand side, where the outfielder is reading the ball off the bat, cutting off the angle, catching the ball with the forehand side. Once again, they're not going to They're not going to be actually throwing. In your practice layout, the coach or the extra player that's hitting the ball is on the left field foul line, and the outfielders are in between left and center field. The outfield drill works on charging the ground ball with a controlled sprint, fielding the ball, and utilizing your legs during your jump step. The jump step's so important because it provides added momentum. It allows you to gather yourself and be in balance when you throw. It also lets you have time to finger the ball and get a proper grip. The outfield fly ball drill emphasizes working the backhand side on the fly ball. The outfielder works on reading the ball off the bat, dropping back, depending on the side. This drill would be the backhand side, receiving the throw, and carrying out the proper footwork. This outfield drill works the fly balls on the forehand side, receiving it and working on stopping as quickly as possible and getting your feet in position to make a throw. We really work on dropping the shoulder, using the arms to sprint to the ball, receive the ball, and then get our feet in the direction, line of the throw. This outfield drill is called the charge drill, where they're actually charging the softly hit fly ball. You'll notice that they do a good job of using their arms to get there as quickly as possible. And even when the ball is short, notice how they keep their glove down close to the grass, because we know balls that are falling straight down very rarely bounce any higher than the mid-shin area. And that's an important tip for coaches to work with their players on. This outfield drill is called the fence drill, and it encourages the outfielders to get comfortable getting right up next to the fence. A good tip as a coach is to always encourage them to drop their backhand side if they have that opportunity. Then they can use their bare hand to find the fence as they're dropping back on the fly ball. Many times as an outfielder, we stop too soon thinking we're close when in reality we're not. So the more you practice it, the more comfortable they are going right up against the fence. This outfield drill is a line drive drill which forces the outfielder to cut off the line drive that's hit in the alley. Notice how the players do a good job of leading with their glove and getting their non-glove hand out of the way. What that does is it allows them to get about another foot of range because their upper body is totally committed in direction of the throw. This is a play where you're actually going to be catching with one hand. This is the outfield drill gap communication. As a coach, make sure you designate a line that is the center field line. That way, if both players call it, they know that center field has responsibility for it. Notice the players do a good job of calling the ball before it reaches peak flight. You can add a variation to the drill by working on ground ball communication, and the same reference system applies. When in doubt, center fielder takes the ball. This outfield drill helps the players work on blocking the sun when they're getting ready to catch the ball. And it's just a matter of being patient. We know the ball's going to go in the sun, block for a second. You may not see it for a split second, and then the ball will come out of the sun. So we practice this so when it happens in a game, they don't have a tendency to panic once they see that ball go up into the sun. This outfield drill is called run through. It forces the outfielder to time where the ball is going to land, so they're actually going to move back and then be running through the ball as it comes down into their area. Many times as outfielders, we just sit right underneath the ball, catch it stationary, and then have to create momentum. This drill allows us to move back, move forward, catch the ball, do our jump set, and hopefully throw a strike. They're stationary, they move back, try to move through the ball when they catch it, and they have momentum going towards the target.